Hey guys, quick update on Bitcoin. So the last time I spoke to you was just a general comment where I said typically the calling of Bitcoin's death is premature, and Bitcoin to date has generally been a buy the dip coin. I'm going to slightly revise that actually. And I'm going to point out that the current price behavior is not particularly supportive of a rally. In other words, that the downside is over. It's not behaving like the downside is over. We've had a number of setups that occurred on the inverted side that I will just quickly revise you. We got our first inverted HVF here. This is a methodology that we use and is very, very successful and warns of overperformance. I've done more detailed draws of this in my premium area, but I'm just doing a quick underlying draw for you here. These were all continuation to the downside patterns. And that is brought and lent on the Bitcoin USD price. You note how you get these capitulative breaks from that level down to this level, and again from here down to here. The other thing that's a slight risk here for Bitcoin is that we have a big left shoulder over here. In fact, do I mean, yeah, I do mean left. I was having a minor dyslexic moment there. That is your left shoulder. This essentially is your head. The other dotted red line that you're seeing is the fact that I am pointing out that the key $20 level was highly psychological. We got similar price behavior on the 5 level, and we then got an inverted HVF on the right shoulder, which is where I am now, which is often a lot lower shoulder. And in fact, we revisited the neckline a little bit deeper here as well. I've drawn a neckline. We only do horizontal necklines. That's HVF method neckline. As a result, you can find out more about how and why we do that. But I've gone for the key round number at 13,000. So essentially, you've got something that's at 13,000 that came very close to 20,000. I don't think we made it on this. This is Polynex, one of the big exchanges. So you have the better part of just under 7,000 to be projected down from 13,000, which would imply a head and shoulders target right down at 6,000. Which is a long, long way away. So in terms of my, don't worry guys, generally the most videos about the impending death of Bitcoin is usually premature YouTube clip. This is slightly a restatement, I certainly would say, of that. Do I think it necessarily has to do this? No, I don't necessarily. Head and shoulders don't always work on Bitcoin, but the possibility that it can happen. There's a lot of money on the sidelines that would want to jump into Bitcoin that hasn't got in, and so therefore dropping down to some level around about the 5,000 or 6,000 levels is going to be certainly a calamity of some note, and I would expect a lot of numbers to have got in that might have wanted to get in at these levels. You can see proportionately, I've done a log scale here, that's quite a long way away. What do I think's happening right now? So let's just leave that purple target down there for a while as a marker. But what do I think's happening right now? I think it's a bit of a capitulative sell without any doubts. I won't get any prizes for saying that. I think what we're going to probably get is what we call a flat bottomed inverted HVF, which initially does imply further downside to come. So we always apply the rule of keep on keeping on. The first inverted HVF in a new trend always has overperformance to it. So its target will have been beaten, and it means there is potential for further trend of greater scale, which we've certainly had. This is your second, and we could be making the biggest one yet. In other words, this rally right down here at this extreme low of 11,300 all the way back up to the 14,941 could end up amplitude for another downside move here for this particular commodity, coin, currency, whatever the central control structures want to call it. They don't seem to have made up their mind yet, depending on how they want to tax us all. I'm sure we'll get more details on that in due course. But anyway, expect a low 2 probably somewhere around here to be fairly flat bottomed. Even if it stopped right this second at these lows, that is quite flat already, but it could probe a little lower. Then you are likely to get a form of a rally from there. So what might come next? If we are accurate and the scenario cast that I'm discussing takes place, you will get some form of a rally. It may not be particularly strong. It may just return above the 13,000 levels from these levels. And normally on inverted HVFs, you often get quite a bit of squeezing across the tops. In other words, this line that I'm drawing can be quite steep. So it could be something like that to a 2 somewhere here, and then you can get another dip drop down across your tops. So most of the squeezing on inverteds tends to come across the tops. So those rallies won't necessarily be very big, and you'll have quite a flat bottom assessment over here. Quite a flat bottomed assessment over here, like that. So that could be your third high, that could be your second high, and you'll have the price action zigging and zagging between there, but squeezing mainly across the top and barely holding a level. Making a marginally lower low, as you'll learn in HVF method if you do a program with us, is generally bottoming and is a good thing. Not making one is generally continuation pattern setup. Note how that did not go lower than that, and that did not go lower than that. So it's trying to hold a grind line. It's like a dam wall that then bursts. Trying to hold that low 2 to that low 1, didn't go lower, bursts. Marginally lower lows. If we made a marginally lower low here and then traded up, that actually would be a beginning of a long grinding bottoming process, which would actually be more bullish. That is very in conflict with traditional technical analysis, which always says new highs is bullish, new lows is bearish. But that's HVF method, and you'll learn all about it, as I say, if you seek to do a program. So this in of itself, with this amplitude, would still prompt an $8,900 odd fall. So my view is, if you are in BTC, it is actually looking weak. But don't chase this sell-off now, because there's a lot of scared money getting out, and there will in fact be a rally that people will curse. So there's a lot of late bulls that'll just see it as a buying opportunity and get a bit of a rally, but the selling will come into that. So take off your BTC from above the 13,000 would be something I would consider doing. Remember, I'm not qualified to advise anybody, and this is not meant as advice in terms of your trading. However, it would probably be the last point to get out at a semi-decent price if this bearish scenario does play out. What does this mean for all the others? Well, there are other coins that are doing relatively well versus the Bitcoin, but I think in dollar terms most will go down in dollar terms. So you've got Ripple, for example, that's holding up quite well as one of them. There's other coins that I'm discussing in detail in my premium area that I'm not at liberty to discuss here, that will do even better, showing relative strength against Bitcoin. But if the big Bitcoin falls extremely hard, it could be bearish on the overall crypto market cap. So if we pop over to coin market cap, I'm sure most of you will know about this. If you don't, here's where you find it. You'll probably find that the market cap is dropping. See that 495? We were at 640 trillion. That is quite some haircut that has been occurring. Also, Bitcoin's dominance is reducing and continuing to reduce. So where it was reasserting for most of H2, the last few weeks has seen Bitcoin come under great duress from its 19,900s highs. It's been shedding dominance at a rapid rate. So the other coins have been holding their ground better, but overall the market cap has shrunk. So this could even mean a roll for dollar or tether holdings instead. But don't, as I suggest, don't do it into the selling wick here. There's a bit of panicking going on. They all need to calm down and eat their Christmas pudding, and there'll be a bit of a relief rally before maybe we go into the next stage of a down leg. So that's my take. Typically, before now, the generic advice I give is on sell-offs is buy the damn dip, and I put a YouTube out that it's not going to be the end of the world and it won't be the end of Bitcoin. This might be a more secular, longer-term sell-off than what is typical. We were looking for a bigger rally. You started to get that rally, but it started to round top, and it didn't rally very far given how much it sold off. There was a lack of conviction, and then this sell-off comes with great momentum. So this is showing us there's more to come on balance of probabilities in my view. That is my take. I'm Francis Hunt, the Market Sniper. If you want to find out more and get these kind of updates across all coins and build your wealth through crypto, and also defend defend, as you might be doing in a time like this, that which you've already made. This would be a great opportunity. We focus on getting everyone a multiple on that which they invest over the course of a trading year with us in our community, our WhatsApp groups and our Basecamp groups, and with regular webinar updates, voicemails, etc. If you are aligned and that feels of interest to you, go to themarketsniper.com and you can register after a short questionnaire for a webinar and or to purchase the Trading Metamorphosis program. I want to wish you all amazing Christmas. Thanks for being followers. Thanks for sharing this. Thank you for being subscribers, whether you engage with me or not. I'm glad you're in the crypto space. I think it will serve you well. That does not mean it is a straight line up all the time, and we may be experiencing one of those moments where defensive behavior will prove productive for you. Okay, have a great Christmas. And if not celebrating, just have an awesome time with family during the public holiday period.